Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Firelink Podcast's 100th episode for Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Marty Sleva here, joined by Casey Wosu, Nick Calandra, and producer Eric. They said it couldn't be done. They said we couldn't get to 100 episodes. We tried several times and failed each time. But we are finally here, and we had a great show for you today just because there's interesting news and hella games coming out. We're going to be chatting about kind of future plans for both PlayStation and Xbox that emerged this week, including PlayStation pulling back on PC ports and Xbox vaguely pointing towards what their next hardware might be like. And then, of course, we'll have thoughts on the big games of the past week or so. Resi 9, Pokémon Pokopia, Marathon, maybe Slay the Spire. I don't know if either of you have played Slay the Spire, but I'm sure someone's slayed a Spire before, once or twice in their life. Jack did, and he seemed to enjoy it. I don't know. It's fine.
What doesn't Jack enjoy?
What does
most
Jack
things
not enjoy? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Pluribus definitely didn't enjoy Pluribus. Let me tell you. How are you guys doing, Nick? This is your last show for a couple weeks. You're off to jolly old Europe for a few weeks.
Yep, this is my last show. Yep, going to just for 2 weeks, going to Rome for a week, and then I'm going to Athens for a week.
Damn.
Staying in hostels, going to see the Colosseum.
Staying in hostels,
Vatican.
that's exciting.
Yeah, don't get murdered for money or whatever they did in that movie.
Most hostels are fine.
There's worse things that could happen.
Honestly, getting murdered for money right now, I'd be like, well, I have fewer problems on my plate.
Yeah, my mortgage keeps getting more expensive, so
but yeah, the show will continue without you for those few weeks, but we're excited for your trip. Always excited for one of the team to be able to take some time off. Casey, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Working a bunch, but prospects in my personal life are okay.
That's good. Should you have
ominous.
prospects? I always think of prospects as I'm looking for a new job or I'm looking to get in a new relationship, and I hope neither.
So
of
one
the
of
two
yeah,
of
I mean
those.
one of those two things.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like I'm doing okay. The big thing that's been hanging over my head really has been something pretty mundane, which is the weather. Sure. Whereas like they kept threatening us. It was like, hey, you're gonna get more snow. You're like I'm so fucking sick of the snow. Instead, it just rained a bunch. It's really wet outside. My backyard is all mud, but at least it's not snow. So
that's what we're about to go through. Like it's March 5th, and tomorrow they're already talking about tornadoes. And I'm like, wait, what? It's supposed to be snowing.
Really?
I was driving home minutes ago. I rolled in kind of hot to this pod, and it got so foggy on the way. It felt like Silent Hill. It felt like the hit film Return to Silent Hill.
Silent Hill this morning in KC. Yeah.
Yeah. So
going to get my Mountain Dew was a little scary.
You can't call Kansas City KC when we're on the podcast with KC.
I was confused for a little bit.
Precedent. You can call it Kansas City.
It took me a minute, but then I caught up. But like, it did throw me.
I was like, you were foggy this morning? And I'm not going to ask Eric how he's doing because I know how Eric's doing, and I will actually inform everyone how Eric was doing when we get to the Resi portion of this podcast because it turns out Eric, I was unfamiliar with Eric's game. I didn't realize. Like, I apologize, Eric. I was unfamiliar with your game. And so I'm excited to talk about that when we get to Resi. And awesome to see so many folks in YouTube right now. Thanks for those super chats coming in. As you can see, our funding goal this month, if you hate me or Casey, especially if you hate me this week because of my microphone, which I have spent several $100s on parts coming this weekend in an attempt to fix this. Because I realize I've been like speaking into a stethoscope and people are just like hearing my lungs. I bought a cloud limiter, a cloud converter,
lifter.
A cloud lifter. Jay walked me through what I should buy. And we'll see. I've had several people walk me through how to fix this and none of them have worked so far. So I was like, fuck it. We'll see if Jay knows what's going on.
Just buy more stuff. That's usually the solution.
I mean, what is the American experiment? If not, we'll throw money at it and see if that fixes it. And the answer is always no. So
my weird brain just imagines you as it. And when he bites the guy's head off in the TV show, Just that's what you do to your microphone.
Oh, Pennywise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'm an extraterrestrial being who pops out every 20 years to like kill some folks. Shout out to the Scars guards. But yes, I by the next time you guys hear me on a Second Wind thing, maybe things will be fixed, or it won't be, or it'll get worse. It's fine.
Either is possible.
Either is possible. Nothing is permitted. I don't know if that's I tried to do the Assassin's Creed thing, and I don't think that was it. Anything is possible. Nothing's permitted.
I think it's everything.
Everything's possible.
Nothing is permitted.
Okay.
I don't think that's right either.
I don't know if either.
It might not be.
I'm excited to be a pirate. But that's not one of the topics because before we get into all the games and whatnot we've been playing, and before we get into Super Chats, I do want to talk about these news stories that broke this week. One, a report from Jason Schreier about PlayStation. And this was, I think this link should work. This was a token link to one of his Bloomberg reports about how Sony is pulling the throttle on their single player releases on PC, which means no Ghost of Yotei, no upcoming Housemarques game Seros, the follow-up to Returnal that Casey and I have been playing on our Wednesday streams, and no Wolverine coming to PC. The plan is still for multiplayer games to come to PC. Obviously, Marathon is on PC, and Marvel Token, the fighting game, still coming to PC. Although I don't know...
Horizon's Guardians, whatever it is.
Yeah, the Horizon live service game. I do not, or I don't know if it's live service, the Horizon multiplayer game. I don't know if our PC or our fighting games big on PC. That's probably an ignorant question, but that might be more.
No, yeah, like honestly, that's probably the main place the community interact with, like the multi-platform ones. I recall.
Interesting.
At least in the
There you
States.
But yeah, the plan is for them to throttle back. Part of the reason seems to be if you've over the past couple of years in the PS5 generation, as they've been porting things to PC, those ports have been sporadic. There's been no rhyme or reason. Sometimes they're relatively close to launch. Sometimes they're years after launch. Sometimes, like Bloodborne, which is a whole other bag of worms, they'll just never come anywhere else. But apparently also, according to insiders, they haven't sold well, which is surprising to me. Like, I feel like at least I was always under the assumption that these games were performing really well on PC. But apparently Sony doesn't feel that way. And some folks inside of Sony, according to Schreier's reporting, thinks that these games have hurt the brand, the PlayStation brand, and that there's also a worry that with the report and the news, which we'll get to shortly, of Xbox's next console seeming to just be a console PC that can play any game on PC, including Steam games, Sony doesn't want the idea of being able to play a Sony first party game on Xbox. So what? Before we jump into that water, like, what do you guys think of that? Like Casey, what do you think about Sony kind of giving up on?
It's honestly not really surprising because despite them testing the waters with releasing some of their first party stuff on the PC market, they kind of did it half-heartedly from the very beginning. Like the timed exclusivity, for example, is probably the biggest factor in why those games didn't sell as well, because they are the market leader in that regard. Like, all the gamers have PlayStation 5s if they're playing on console. So you're only going to get like the stragglers who don't have a PS5, which isn't a lot of people in terms of like the gaming landscape, who in that case have a PC that they care about PlayStation games on. And I think there's less crossover than we like to admit when it comes to the people who are like big gamers on PC. Like, I don't think they gravitate to those kind of more casual cinematic action adventure games. Like, they play a bunch of shooters. They play a bunch of Minecraft, or they play StarCraft. They play like the kind of things that is one big thing that just takes all your time, and then they just invest constantly in their PC to be the best at that one thing. Like, I don't know that they're really waiting for PlayStation exclusives. But that being said, they did hedge their bet with this decision because they're leaving the multiplayer stuff, and that's probably as much as they should do. Like, it doesn't make sense to lock any multiplayer game to a single platform, even if it is the biggest platform. It can only do better with more players having the ability to play it. So, like, this doesn't sound. This sounds like a good thing for Sony. Like, maybe not great for consumers overall, but from Sony's perspective, like, this kind of just makes sense. And it always felt like they didn't really want to be there on that platform anyway. So, like, as soon as they get the opportunity, why not pull back?
Before I throw it to Nick, I do want to push back on that a little bit because
Okay.
I do think there's a lot of PC only people who would play these games. And maybe it's anecdotal, but I just know from our community, like, there's a lot of people who play on PC and then maybe have a Switch who would play these games. But I do think the timing thing, I think you are right. I do think if Ragnarok comes out in whatever 21 or 22, whenever it came out, and it doesn't come to PC for another year or two, by that time it's not all that exciting. But we've seen, like, Resident Evil 9's numbers on Steam were crazy at launch. Like, they were huge at launch because it was day and date, and because apparently the port is actually good, which is another big thing. So I don't know if I personally subscribe to that. But Nick, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think I was talking to you yesterday a little bit about thinking about writing about something on this, and when I was digging into the data, the PS5 games on PC really haven't sold that great. I think the first few did when it was novel, Spider-Man, God of War. I think those all did okay, but yeah, like The Last of Us Part 2 only has 13,000 Steam reviews, and Spider-Man 2 only has like 12,000 Steam reviews, and that's not a lot for a game of that caliber. I mean, go look at Resident Evil 9 for the amount of reviews on there, and those games did not. Yeah, I don't, and part of me thinks that's partially because, like, I think for a while there, some of the ports for Sony were rough, so that was kind of damaging the brand. People were having a lot of issues with
the
them.
Last of Us thing was a big issue, actually.
And also these games are beefy. They require beefy PCs to run because they're all the high skill AAA games. It surprises me that they didn't sell better, because, like, they are these graphical powerhouses and PC gamers love that stuff. But I think Casey's partially right. Like, I don't think the, like, third person action games and all that, which is Sony's bread and butter, do amazing numbers on PC most of the time. I think you can look historically at a lot of those games, and they have, they're not as big as they are on console. So I don't know. I'm not surprised. I also think, like, I kind of agree, like, PlayStation was hurting their brand by not making these, like, the prestige titles that you have to have a PlayStation for anymore. And with Xbox putting their games everywhere, you are watering down, like, why would I not just get a PC if I can play literally everything on it?
I mean, I guess probably the biggest proof of concept for PlayStation was Helldivers 2 maybe at launch, which is a weird case scenario. But that was really big on PC at launch.
It's huge on PC.
It was multiplayer. It was that game, like Casey said, that felt like that was a strike down the middle of what people would be interested in. But even that had the blowback of Sony not know of, like, oh, you need to create a PSN account to play these things. Right. And in some countries, like, PC is I would say a way more global platform than PlayStation. In some countries that's just impossible to create, or a pain in the ass to create, or whatever. So
when you think about Xbox's strategy, right, in that they're putting their games on PlayStation, if you flip that around in PlayStation, now you can play PlayStation games on Xbox through Steam. That forces people to now think, well, do I want Xbox now? Like, I don't think Sony wants to be in that position.
It's like if you're in a relationship and one side's like, yeah, this is an open relationship, and the other side is like, are we sure? I thought this wasn't. You mentioned Xbox, though. The other half of this, the other side of this coin is Asha Sharma, the new head of Xbox, tweeted out earlier today, great start to the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return to Xbox, including Project Helix, the code name for our next generation console. Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at my first GDC next week. GDC is the Game Developers Conference, which is occurring in San Francisco next week. The big thing there, I mean, Project Helix, they have like a little like a fancy little logo too that looks like an X that's trapped in a Pokeball, or a circle. I've been playing a lot of Pokopia, and so let me tell you, circles
we can
Pokeballs. But the big thing there is Helix will lead in performance to play your Xbox and PC games. That doesn't sound like it's Xbox Anywhere. That sounds like you are going to be able to play Steam games. You're going to play Epic Store games on the next generation Xbox, which
so that's the reverse of Play Anywhere, essentially.
Yeah. And so I do feel like maybe that's part of the thing of like PlayStation just still like having, granted they've become more, their headquarters is in America now, but I still do feel like there is that historically Japanese quality to them where they're like, no, that's not how this is going to work. Like, that's not how Nintendo works. You see how Nintendo is so hesitant to put their games on any other platform. Nintendo was hesitant to put their games on iOS, and Android and everything. So it is. I'm going to say one thing about the next generation, which this is a whole other bag of worms. I do not think we should start talking about the next generation yet because it feels like that is way too early. It feels like between COVID and between the price of internal parts right now, that's a conversation for 3 years from now, not a conversation for right now. And maybe these consoles, which were probably planned for 27, which, a 7-year console cycle was normal. I'm imagining this isn't going to be until 28, 29. It is interesting to see how it feels like the two of them are taking different approaches, which is kind of what I've wanted since the failed experiment of what the Xbox One was originally going to be. Of these two boxes are going to feel very different, as opposed to they're kind of the same thing, and they have like a couple exclusives. But I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I think. Does this sound like they're doing different things? Like on one hand, it seems like Xbox took a big gamble in spreading its wings and going on other platforms, PC and PlayStation, Nintendo in some instances as well, like trying to just spread their wings as far as they can because their hardware has struggled so much. Whereas Sony was a little bit more tepid, but I guess didn't want to feel left out in what they were doing. But like they've always kind of concentrated on their platform and are now reversing course. But Xbox is doing exactly that. It seems like they're reversing course and taking everything they spread out. Well, not everything, but the PC side of what they spread out and now sucking it back in and saying, we're going to focus on the console. But all the PC stuff that we kind of can't escape from because Microsoft is also a PC company will also be here. It's like a black hole that just like a big bang happened and then the black hole just sucking everything back in the other way. It's like, it's a very, very hard reversal of the plan. And from what I've like the little bit of scouring the internet that I've seen, folks seem to be kind of excited about this. Like I'm personally not sure exactly why, but the scuttlebutt seems to be like, oh, folks are happy that they're just making big moves regardless of what they are. Like Xbox is doing something. So whether it pans out or not, like I think the fan base who has been a little discouraged is starting to have a little bit more life in them.
The big thing I'm keeping an eye on with this is that they're already starting that narrative of bringing back Xbox. Like the new CEO keeps saying that, bring back Xbox. What does that mean? I don't know what that means anymore because I don't really know what Xbox is anymore. And so part of me thinks like, yeah, they realize like this, because that reporting came out on Sarah Bond's marketing campaign with the Xbox team and all that. Everything is an Xbox. The reporting is that hurt the brand and people didn't like that in there. I don't think consumers really latched onto it either. Like I don't look at my phone as an Xbox. I don't look like it's my toaster as a fucking Xbox. But Yeah. I mean, I mostly agree with KC that it feels like we are going to just go right back to console exclusives. Like, get people in those ecosystems you want. They don't want to share that 30% with Steam. Every game they sell on Steam, they lose 30% of that money from. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. It's hard to see what that future looks like because, like, Fable, right? That would be a system seller, that type of game, and it's already announced for PlayStation. And Forza Horizon 6 is already announced for PlayStation. The only like big exclusive they haven't announced for PlayStation yet, as far as I can tell, is Gears E-Day. But they just brought Gears of War to PlayStation, so it's like,
and we haven't
so there's
seen
no
like
reason to
Gears
think.
E-Day hasn't had its kind of second bump yet, the way that Halo or the way that Fable
no.
and Forza,
and that's going to be a system seller too if it's exclusive to Xbox. So I don't really know. Like, I keep going back and forth on this. Like, Microsoft as a whole is a software company. They always do better when they just focus on software, because it seems like all their experiments, kind of like Google, fall apart when it goes to hardware. Windows Phone, Surface isn't huge. Like, Xbox goes all over the place. So, like, focus on the studios, and their games have continually been top sellers on PlayStation. So
Is that maybe
I
also
just
a
don't
novelty
know. I
thing?
don't know what. Yeah, I really have no clue what this looks like anymore. Like, usually I could sit there and have a prediction on it, but I'm like, you're saying this is an Xbox, but it's also going to be a Valve machine or whatever the hell it's going to be now. Like, I don't know. I think my best guess is this is it is a PC that is for your living room, and that's why they spent so much time on, like, the new whatchamacallit UI for, like, handheld Xbox and all that, because they want to get back to that living room experience that they've kind of keep moving away from.
yeah,
And that's the exact same selling point as a Steam machine right now.
Yeah, and that's I don't know, like, what the USP is going to, the unique selling point is going to be of Project Helix if it can play everything. Because then why wouldn't I just go get a Valve machine, or why would I not do this or that, right? Like, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, because it's a console that can play everything and not a
Yeah,
PC
but you
that
can
play
still get.
everything. That's the excitement to me. Is I
Right,
don't
but you can
want
also-
a PC. I want a console that can play PC games. I don't want to play on a PC though.
But
So
what
to
games?
me, at
What games
least,
are
it's
What games are you playing though that are on PC only?
I mean, I want to get all my cheap Steam games. Oh, there's hello. Let me tell you, my Steam library is weird.
Right, but
My
that's what I'm.
my
That's
Steam
what I'm,
library gets hella weird.
That's what I'm wondering about though. Like, if Xbox wants all that money and they put Valve on their new machine, they're giving up 30% to Valve to have their storefront on this new machine. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, I was less being like, this is a good move for Xbox. And I was more like, if I could play Steam,
It's a
games
good
on my
move for me.
Xbox, it's
Yeah.
a good move for Marty.
Yeah,
And
I get
I'm
that.
gonna be honest. Right now, I put Marty over Microsoft in terms of
Yeah,
who I
but
care about.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I don't know. What is the unique selling point? Like, are you going to force people into the Windows store because nobody wants that?
That can't be a real
How-
store. No one's going there.
Yeah. Well, how are we gonna? Yeah. How is it gonna be? Are you just gonna be able to access your library from Steam directly on your Xbox? I don't know.
I mean, I
Microsoft's
imagine
still-
that's what PC games on Xbox means, right? Your Steam library on
Right,
Xbox,
but if-
like that's just what.
But
it
if you
means.
can access the library, can you also access the Steam store? Like, that's what my question is. Like, they're all.
I could
focused
buy.
on-
I could buy a game.
Is
on my
there
phone and
stuff-
play it on my-
When you say Steam store, you mean like you go on your Xbox and you purchase a game from Steam
Through
on
Steam.
the Xbox,
Yeah.
or like
which they
just
don't. I don't think
games
they
that are
want
loaded on your Xbox, or just games that are loaded on your Steam account will somehow be playable on Xbox.
It would be really
without-
funny if
the store?
on an Xbox you could choose to either buy Fable, which gives Microsoft all the money, or buy Fable through the Steam store, which gives Microsoft 70% of the money.
70%. Right.
Which would
That's
be
what I'm saying.
very
Like, why would they do that?
Yeah, so yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it's weird
Yeah.
how they'll finagle that, but I'm still kind of stuck on the idea that, like, the Steam machine is the same thing, but just reverse for Valve's sake, because, like, their selling point is, oh, we have a box that goes in your living room and you can play all your Steam games, but then you can also play like any of the Xbox games that because it functions like a PC. It's not like a bespoke console interface, right? Like it still is a little PC.
No, but we don't know if you can run Game Pass on it and play console Game Pass games on it because you can't.
No, we don't know that.
I mean, I can't on my Steam Deck.
Yeah, if it uses Valve OS, that'll stop you from doing that. But it's
okay.
But we don't know. We don't know about the Steam machine because
it's strange.
Those plans have had a wrench thrown in them because of the price of everything. And Eric says you can install Windows. That is
nobody's going to want to do that on a.
You're talking about the 5% of the nerds, and we are nerds. Yeah. I'm not using that like pejoratively. I don't want to do that. I want shit to be simple. Loading up my Xbox is simple as fuck. And if the idea of me being able to go into my living room and turn on my Xbox and then I have Steam there, and if it's as simple as doing things on an Xbox, that sounds really nice to me. Like everything in my life is complicated. If that is simple, that sounds nice. Like that sounds genuinely nice. That sounds like something I would like. And I don't know who I speak for. I speak for me. I don't claim to speak for anyone else, but that sounds nice for me.
Yeah, well, it comes back around to the point of like, what is Xbox? What is Xbox now going forward?
It's everything, or is it, or nothing? Everything's forbidden and nothing is allowed. I still don't know what that
again. Like every company that is playing in these waters, the console / PC ecosystem space, all of them seem to be running into the exact same issue, which is who is this for? Because apparently what we're learning is console players and PC players are completely different beasts. Like we who like consume, like us three who consume like all things video game are outliers. Most people legitimately seem to just pick a side. Either they're a console person or they're a PC person. And like offering them a little bit of the other side doesn't net like a huge influx. It seems like.
So that there's an interesting data point around that regarding High Guard, which they showed like the player accounts, and way more console players were playing that than Steam players. And so, like I think I don't know. I think the industry's gotten so focused on like
people with
PCs
are complaining about games, and people with consoles are playing games. That's why.
That's a really good point. They
don't have access to the internet on their console.
Like they're playing the game on one screen, their second screen just got Twitter open so they can just turn over and complain.
Every time they get to a new enemy, they fucking bitch about it. I'm sorry to everyone who gets to a new enemy in a game and complains about it on Discord or on Twitter. It's fine. You can complain.
It's there's definitely
I think there's legit truth to that.
Yeah. It's just definitely different audiences that I think maybe Sony and Microsoft thought they had more access to than they really do on Steam.
Yeah. We should stop calling them PCs and start calling them computers. Because I think if everyone's like, I play games on a computer, you kind of sound like a dork. PC sounds cool. If you say I play on a computer, I think it's the pew. You sound like a dork.
Politically correct.
My Steam Deck, let me tell you, I love my Steam Deck.
That's not a computer at all.
Do we all agree that like this shouldn't be something that happens next year or this year? Like, when do you does Xbox pull the trigger quick because they have infinite Microsoft money and is like, fuck it, I guess we'll start the next generation early while I think PlayStation waits?
They got away with this in the 360 era, which ended up being a real good idea for them. Like they were losing. They came out with a new console. They had good stuff for it, and then Sony tripped over their own shoelaces immediately after. So like, they really pulled that one off. Some of that was luck. I don't believe they could do that again this go around because, like you're saying, I don't think consumers are ready for a new generation. Like we didn't get really our fill of this one, and like just overall, everybody's broke and everything's way more expensive. Like, who is this for?
Feel like
right now?
Any game has. We're not even close to those. 2013 games that felt like they were like pushing the limits of the hardware. We're not close to like
I don't think we're really going to get those
games. GTA 5.
I just don't think those. I don't think those games are going to happen. I think AAA. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, Yeah, I think every once in a while, I mean, like Crimson Desert, I think is going to be one of those games that like really showcases the hardware. Can't say anything more than that. But
I watched
I
a
think,
preview. I haven't played any of Crimson Desert. I watched a preview, and there's a side quest where you can go sweep chimneys. You have to climb on
Yeah.
people's houses and sweep their chimneys. And I was like, that kind of sounds nice.
that's next gen.
I
But
kinda
yeah, I
wanna
just
climb on people's houses and sweep their chimneys.
like I think
Dick Van Dyke.
it was easier. It was easier to sell those advancements when these like PS3, 360 were coming out because like that's the last really big leap we had, and now they're all focused on just making the most amount of money, and you don't need to make games that look even better than GTA 6 to do that anymore. Like clearly, I mean, games with good graphics are coming out all the time. They're not selling great, so I don't know.
They're complaining about
like
how much
Resident
money
Evil.
it has to spell.
I was gonna say Resident Evil 9 felt like next generation to me with the animations in that game, like just the monster
I
animations.
stand
and
by
everything.
what I said last week. The opening 5 minutes of that game are the greatest looking video game anyone's ever made. You can't do anything. You can walk down the street. You can look in. You can look at the Viwa card, which I think is very funny. It's incredible looking, but it's also not interactive, so it's not real. And then the rest of the game just.
I mean, that sounds like a launch game. Like that, the first 5 minutes.
like Rise or The Order.
Yeah, The Order. Yeah. Speakeasy says I haven't felt like consoles had one of those killer apps in a while. I think partially that's because there's just so many games coming out all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what the last
Well, Claire Obscura, I guess, right? But that was on everything.
But that's on everything. Was it like?
And it's also not like super big budget AAA. Like it's not like the most expensive game ever made.
Was Breath of the Wild the last killer app? Like the last, you should buy this piece of hardware to play this game because you cannot play it anywhere else. Like killer apps kind of need to be exclusive.
Maybe.
If it's not exclusive, it can't be a killer app, right? For as good as Elden Ring is, for as good as Baldur's Gate 3 is, they're everywhere. So they're not, killer apps. Like maybe Intergalactic, the Naughty Dog game is. Maybe Cory Barlog's rumored Egyptian God of War is. Maybe Fable is. But even Fable will be playable on PC. So who knows?
Do you think what do you guys think? Like, do you think we are, and PlayStation's obviously already saying as much, are we going to go back to more specific console exclusives and not so much kind of everywhere stuff except for the multiplayer stuff? That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm even getting that vibe from Xbox that you're only going to be able to get their single player stuff on Xbox or their Xbox PC thing.
It might be a good idea to again, I'm actually pro put everything on everything. Like I think I would like that as a future, but like as in terms of like what is in the best interest of the companies and their bottom lines, I think this whole thing kind of worked better when their camps had their special little projects to their special little boxes. And so if they
when everything's everywhere, it's not exciting.
No, I really do like that idea, but like the industry did seem to work better before that. And maybe that's part of the bigger reason why. Like another reason is just that everything got way more expensive because they're trying to beat everyone and everyone's everywhere. So like, maybe pull back, appeal to your smaller section, and maybe expect a little less because of that. Like they're like, don't sell to literally the entire market, sell to your market.
Yeah, the human being in me it feels like art should be able to be experienced by the widest swath of people possible. Like that is how art works. That's how movies work. That's how books work. That's how music works. That is how everything works. The person who's been playing games my whole life, Eric, Eric and I are literally working on a video about, which I feel like we've been talking about a very long time. It'll go up next week, or I'll, like Shinji Mikami, I will cut my head off if it doesn't go up next week. So Eric, you got to finish that video by next week, or else I'm not going to have a head, and Casey's going to have to do a solo pod on Thursday.
You can just do what Shinji Mikami did.
Call in from
it. Just not cut off
just not do it.
A video about how 2001 was the best year in video game history, according to me. And every game I mention in it was a console exclusive at launch across all the consoles. Halo with Xbox, Smash Melee, Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, Nintendo,
And that
Silent
was
Hill 2,
accidental.
Final Fantasy X. That's just the way it used to be. That's just the way it is. That's a song. I don't know if you guys heard that song. I can't cut my head off because of the Dokapon thing. That's a good point.
Oh yeah, you have to do it after.
Legally, I can't cut my head off next
You'll
week.
still have to play even if you cut your head off. So
whatever, it'd be the same at the game. It'd still be like oscillating between 4th and 3rd place the entire time. It'd be bad for whoever. If anyone loses to me in Dokapon, if I cut my head off, that's real bad. You guys want to go over some super chats before we jump into stuff we've been playing, or do you have any final thoughts on all this? And sorry, Sovereign. Games eventually got ported at launch. All those 2001 games were exclusive. Tony Hawk 3, Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy 10, GTA 3, Devil May Cry. All those games were exclusive. Everything was everywhere. Nothing was permitted, as the Assassinos told us.
As Ezio loves to say.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by how Xbox has just shaped up over the last couple of weeks with the new CEO and this messaging of, we're going back to Xbox, we're bringing Xbox back, which I thought was what Phil Spencer tasked with doing. So what a weird company. What a weird company.
Whatever. Pokopia is here. Everything's fine. Everything will be fine because of the young girl who died in order to have that. Did you know it's not even about a young girl who died?
It's about the Ditto who killed her.
You could be a young girl or a young boy. You could choose at the beginning. And I chose we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Let's go over some super chats before we get to all of these aforementioned games, because it might sound like all there is to talk about in games is all this industry drama, but it's not, because good games are actually here. And if you can't find one of them you want to play this weekend, I was going to say you don't like games, but that's not true. Just play something else. There's so much stuff.
Take a break from work.
Yeah, exactly. The super chats really quick. Shinzu, thank you so much for a 10-pound dono. Couldn't catch the Returnal streams live, so using this opportunity to say that the random teleport consumable you've been throwing away, which we have been throwing away, takes you to a treasure room. Also, you were still wrong about DMC. First off, if it's not a random teleport, if it takes us to a treasure room, it should say
they
treasure
lied
room
to us
teleport. I'm starting to think this planet doesn't want us to continue. I'm starting to think this planet's got something against us. Also, Shinzu, you're wrong. No, we're not wrong about DMC. History will be on our side. DMC, best Devil May Cry.
Best.
Are they going to announce a new one? Did they announce a new one today? There was a Capcom showcase like an hour ago. I didn't watch.
I don't think so.
I think it was mostly like an update. They were like, here's Pragmata's coming like a week early, and here's some Onimusha.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Onimusha.
We're still not doing Mega Man Legacy or Mega Man Legends because we're a bunch of babies. Here's Star Force. I don't even know what Star Force is. I don't fucking want Star Force.
No one wants Star Force.
Between mouth breathing on Monday, me saying that everyone who plays on computers are a bunch of nerds, and no one wants Star Force, I don't think my Q rating's gone up this week. I'm gonna be honest. I think I've taken a big dip. Darwin, thank you so much for a $5 dono. Main character swap places Ditto and Claire. Who does it better? I'm assuming you mean Claire Redfield. So wait, do you mean Grace or Claire? Because Claire's not in this video game. Spoilers, Claire is not in Resident Evil 9.
Oh, no.
But as in, if a Ditto was thrown into the clinic of Resident Evil 9, and if Grace was thrown into the Pokopia Island,
I think Grace would be more scared in the Poptopia, whatever the fuck it is, island.
It's a tough word to say. She would be scared. She's often scared. Which honestly, to me, like Luigi in Luigi's Mansion, all of us can be scared of things. I appreciate. Finally, we have a main character who stutters a little bit because of the PTSD, and I appreciate that. As someone who often stumbles over their words, I like that.
I mean, a real word. I can't stutter over a fake word.
Of what? Of what word? Pokopia?
Pokopia.
No, it's a real word.
It's not that hard.
It's a portmanteau of Pokemon, a Natalie portmanteau of Pokemon and Utopia.
Natalie,
it's not a real word.
Yeah. It just bothers me. There's no T in it.
Yeah.
Poptopia. Pokopia.
Potcopia.
Pokopia.
Quintuple, thank you so much, Quintuple, with the $2 dono. Nick, you still Overwatching. Emery is basically John Halo. I felt bad. Quintuple asked this question last week, and you weren't here to talk about it. Do you know this character, Emery, who's apparently like a Halo boy?
Yeah, I think he's got like a burst rifle, right? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I play him all the time.
Oh, do you? Oh,
That tracks.
Casey and I were talking about how
That tracks.
Casey and I dunked on this guy a ton last week.
Wait,
He
what?
looks really boring compared to a lot
Yeah,
of
he looks
Oh,
like such a
he looks
generic
extremely boring.
hero. Yeah,
Yeah, somebody sexy but looks cooler than he does.
right. Yeah, like there's just nothing interesting about this man.
Yeah.
No, but he got a cool gun.
There you go.
Well, there you go. That's all you need in a shooter.
Captain President with a $20 dono. Thank you so much, Captain President. Appreciate all you donating during this stream. That's helping us towards our Dokapon Purgatory, which we're slowly creeping towards. I ordered at Poke Bowl, and I was disappointed by the lack of Pikachu meat. Hashtag never forget. Pikachu's a rat. Do you really want to eat rat meat? You would want to eat like Wailor. There's that one Pokemon that's like a large whale. He's probably tasty.
Don't they just have cows? What, like Miltank, right? It's just a cow.
But I mean, it's a Pokemon. It's Miltank. Yeah, it's like
it's a Pokemon, but it's
on
just
two.
a
It's
cow.
on two legs. Too many Pokemon are on two legs. Also, most Pokemon should like. Too many Pokemon are looking like people.
Like just
they gotta,
people.
yeah, they gotta stick to like being on all fours. Like it was fine. Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee are fine because like okay, you're modeled after Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, but
they are.
Yeah.
Today I learned
Lee and Chan.
That's the Lee part. Yeah.
And Chan. Today I learned.
Look at that. Goddamn. I'm going to skip a couple of these because some of them are related to the specific games we're talking about. Waiting for Seaman. Thank you so much. Skipping to your second one. I'm interested about Xbox's next gen. Who wants to bet that it's the new Google Stadia but different as it's powered by AI? Jokes aside, feels a bit early to announce. Maybe to hype shareholders. To be fair, these announcements aren't like Xbox. All the companies almost will talk about a thing early with a code name. That doesn't mean it's coming out this fall, even next fall. Like this could be a 2028 planned thing and talking about it now. And it makes sense to throw it out there before A, because they want to take meetings at GDC, and B, like, I think they're just trying to get little wins wherever they can.
Yeah.
And it feels like by like starting
the
next
CEO
gen
needs something to be excited about.
Yeah. So
like that, the news of Phil Spencer leaving and start like that was like shocking is the word I'm saying. It's not the word I mean. Like it was like distressing to like the larger Xbox fan base. So everything that they announced now is trying to mend that, and they've surprisingly been doing like from the word go. They've been kind of hitting the marks in terms of like quelling people's apprehension, and so like they're continuing to do that. Though we really don't know exactly what it is they're going to be doing next, but everyone seems to now at least be willing to wait and listen, which is like the most you can ask for from the goddamn internet. Like they haven't made up their mind yet whether this is good or bad, and that's a win for any like big marketing company.
Yep.
I'm at least glad my predictions episode was right about Phil Spencer retiring this year.
There you go. Also, we've gone the whole way and we haven't said Phil Spector yet, so I'm proud of us. Because I'm pretty
sure you that does that.
Yeah.
That's done absolute
don't put we in there. That's just a you thing.
You love bringing it up.
It's a vocal foible. We've all made it. Me and Grace stand together. Jaeger Lux with a $5 dono says, speaking of Silent Hill, have we literally brought up Silent Hill at all?
I don't think so. Well, we did. We were talking about the fog.
Yeah,
we were speaking about the fog. Rest of this, I shouldn't have focused on the beginning of it because the rest of it gets weirder. CN found her cake so scary that they cast Mend Butt Crack on her for their release. Speaking of Silent Hill, CN, capital C, capital N, found her cake so scary that they cast Mend Butt Crack on her for their release.
I think Cake is butt.
Cake is butt. CN might be Canada.
CN is the
Canada.
thing. That seems to just be a person, I would think, like a first name, last name initial. Like the country Canada? Cast Mend But also, what is Mend But like, is that an actual D&D spell? That's dumb.
Yeah,
that probably
don't
exists.
spoil,
I think, like,
don't spoil the
D&D
end
is
of
probably
Adventures
stupid.
Night season 5. What do we?
Well, see, I guess
Kill God
CN,
using the power of Mend Butt Crack.
yeah, CN could also be my initials backwards, Calandra Nick.
Would you pass?
I
I would. You know what? I don't think you should. You shouldn't mend butt crack on anyone.
Probably
Yeah, it's
not.
probably not a good idea. It's there for a reason.
Crack flow. Rocket Powered Redneck with a $5 dono. Thank you, Rocket Powered Redneck. I'm PC only, who would play a lot of these games. This shows you where we were. This is one case he said that thing and a bunch of people got mad. Welcome to everyone in our audience.
Just because you're an outlier doesn't mean I'm not right, y'all. It just means you're special. So
you could respond to KC in our Apple and Spotify reviews.
No, we have Apple and Spotify reviews. Oh no, I'm not going there.
No,
I'm not going to go in there after this week's
things
windbreaker. Like, dog, you sound like death.
Leave us good reviews.
Mr. Valentine, thank you so much. Valentine. Why did I say Valentine? With a $2 dono, Doko Dash. Appreciate the Doko Dash. Thank you. Will Cooling with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Will. You need to accept that you're wrong. You said that Xbox would thrive with going multi-platform, but it died. Consoles need exclusives to justify the machine. I don't know who the you in that sentence was.
Xbox as the company did fine because their games have sold great.
Yeah. I don't know. But you.
So you're
wrong.
accept
that wrong. The thing about when you have a microphone, you don't need to accept. You don't. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. We're the only ones that can speak here.
Yeah. Waiting for Seaman. Thank you so much. Fine. One more dono. Do you think Pombon will stay on 4 legs in the evolutions or will it walk? Also, do you think Pokemon Wind and Water will be 60, 70, or $80 each? And will the sequels be Hurricane and Tornado sequel? Pika Pika. Again, the problem is Pombon looks amazing. 4 legs, like just fucking gorgeous. Do you guys, Nick, do you have any thoughts about these starters? Do either of you guys have any thoughts about these starters? Because I'm so fucking excited about these starters. My God,
the best suite
of starters the blue one is the only cool looking thing.
Which one?
The blue one. What the fuck
you think the little? You don't think Pombon's cute?
I think it's cute. I don't think it's cool. I look for cool when I play Pokemon.
I think they're all cute, but they all look familiar. Like we don't have Pokemon that look like this already.
How many different Pokemon can we have? There's not enough animals in the world. I mean, there's a lot of different species, but they all look the same.
They should do like 3 bug starters. Like all 3 just look like bugs.
All bugs.
Yeah.
I'm just excited we're going to Southeast Asia.
I mean, that sounds
Polynesia.
fun.
This sounds great.
It does sound great.
And Will Cooling back with another £5. Thanks, Will. This is not anti-consumer as sales hardware subsidies and inspires games. As a Sega fan, I felt the chill when the Dreamcast died. Exclusives matter. I do agree. Exclusives matter. Listen, you're preaching the choir. I love my fucking Dreamcast. I'm telling you, 2001, everything peaked. Except for, I mean, everything went wrong in like 9 months into that year. But the first couple months, everything was fine.
I think we, as a people, we need to qualify what that means when you say exclusives matter. Exclusives matter to who? Do they matter to you, the consumer, because it makes you feel like your purchase was the right one because all the exclusives are
special
good?
Boy.
Or does it matter to the company because that keeps more people in their ecosystem, which then pays all of their bills? Like, which one of those do you actually care about? Because me, personally, I don't care that exclusives feed the company other than, I want companies to be healthy so they can make more stuff. I want to play the games. That's how I feel about it. So in that sense, I don't actually care that much about exclusives. I care about the business when they make good decisions because that's just fun to watch as a fan of the industry. But in terms of as a player and a customer, I want to play my stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and we might be weird people to be talking about this because A, it's our jobs, and B, even when it wasn't, it was probably our hobby, and we probably did tend to buy multiple consoles. Although I know you guys talked about missing certain generations of certain things and coming back to them later, right?
Mm-hmm. Even when I was a hater,
You know,
that was one of the first things I rectified when I got the money. It was like, let me go buy this thing I've been hating on because I couldn't buy it before, and then
Do you think
play all
you're
the
not a
stuff I
hater
missed
anymore?
out on. No, I'm definitely not a hater anymore, but I definitely have
Yeah.
preferences. But my preferences are qualified by like tangible things. Like I can tell you why it is a thing I like, and not. It's usually not because I can't have the other thing, and that is like just deep-seated jealousy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, being a fan of a video game platform is kid stuff. You know,
Yeah, like
and
you
adult
hopefully grow
children's stuff.
out of it eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. At this
Unless
point,
it's
it's just
Nintendo, in which case it's wonderful. Thank you, Miyamoto.
there's I mean, you know, there used to be the expected sheen of a game being exclusive, but I mean, independent developers can make games that look as good or better than exclusives now. So, I mean, there's not really that ultra premium feeling that they used to have.
Great there. I'm gonna skip this one. Captain President, thank you so much on their $20. I just hope the next Xbox is made out of cardboard and I can live in it. I mean, that would be nice. We could live in it and it could like heat us up at night.
Nintendo already tried that.
That's a really sad super chat. Like, are you gonna lose your home?
I mean, he's a Captain President. He's worried about getting impeached. Captain President's had some strong words in the chat recently. McWaffles, thank you so much. A $2 dono. Incredible thumbnail. Holy shit. That's Pad Manathan right there. Incredible.
Thanks,
incredible
Pad.
thumbnail artist. Absolutely wonderful. Thrill Ganesh, what do you think Pikachu tastes like? I mean, I would say a little bit like eel, because eel is the only thing I've ever eaten that is associated with electricity, and then rat, which I haven't eaten, thankfully. So a little bit like uni, if you've ever had uni, and then a rat. Yeah, Pikachu's nice.
I don't know. I
like
think
Pikachu.
Would be very, very gamey. Like it's not a meat that would go down easy. Like it's gonna. Like you'll probably throw up because Pikachu
Very
just hates being a
rubbery.
Pokeball.
But like Eric's showing right now, what Pikachu? Because original Pikachu, he got a lot of fat, and he seems
Plump.
like he would taste good. Lean Pikachu, I agree. I don't want to eat lean
It's all
Pikachu, but
muscle.
original like 1997 concept art Pikachu, yeah, I'd take a bite out of him. I'd see what's going on.
I'm just gonna order a side of Pikachu legs.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get those in Athens.
Just a big
I'm sure
old
they got
Pikachu
those.
ham hock.
Yeah, give the
Big old-
give the chewable ears to my dogs.
Right. And then Nick Knoll with a pair of donos. Thank you so much, Nick. I spend 12 hours a day debugging software on 4 different networks. That sounds terrifying. Last thing I want to do at the end of the day is fuck around with BIOS and graphic settings when I just want to relax and play games. I'll always be a console player for the same reason I don't want my fridge to have a goddamn Wi-Fi connection.
Listen,
right with you.
it's as uncomplicated as drilling holes through your wall so I can take an 80-foot HDMI cord from my computer to my TV. That's as easy as it is.
Is that supposed to be easy?
No.
Okay, for a second I thought you were being like, why don't you all just drill these
I also have an
holes?
80-foot USB cord that I used to connect my controller to my computer because the fucking Bluetooth sucks.
I didn't know what you want from 80-foot cords. That's
me neither until I bought one.
Yeah,
Like that's got to introduce like some milliseconds of delay, right?
Nope.
No?
It runs great. Nope.
Jesus.
I just have an 80-foot USB cord running across my floor. I trip over all the time. It's fine.
That sounds like all of this sounds like a problem. All of this sounds like a problem.
It is. So you know what? If the Steam machine can do what my computer does and I can put it out there, great.
Also, okay, finally, Jaeger Lux has come back. CN is China, but YouTube wouldn't let it through. YouTube wouldn't let you say the word China in a super chat.
You just said China in a super chat.
Yeah,
they just said
it came
it.
through just now though.
Jaeger,
That's
what's going on
odd.
here? So wait, okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna scroll up and go back. Speaking of Silent Hill, China found her cake so scary, I'm all aboard, that they cast Mend Butt Crack on her for the release. I now understand it. Her crack was censored in the Chinese release. That was like, we just needed the one like Rosetta Stone, the key, in order to unlock the entire message.
You see butt crack in the game?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Lady D. Yeah, Lady D's got a little bit of Lady C. Eric, how did you pull that up already? What are we?
Is that one?
We're actually close to getting to. Wait.
Oh,
no, this is. Oh yeah, that is. They cocked the butt crack.
no, my
Wait,
God.
what is that? What is
you can't
that?
say that.
You can say that. No, but literally, what is it? What game is that? What video game is this?
Yeah, is that
Return
Lady
to Silent Hill.
Oh, that's Silent Hill. Okay.
I was thinking of Lady D.
Yeah, that's what was throwing me off. I'm like, when does she look like that in those games?
This was literally the game. This is the film we talked about. I was thinking of films.
Got it. We're on the same page.
That movie was fucking bad.
That's so
China,
funny.
you dodged a bullet.
They literally did the SpongeBob meme of just erasing.
They cocked the crack. Okay, we're gonna talk about games now. I thought it would literally be 20 minutes and then we'd get here. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God.
Okay, a lot of games. We got Resi 9, we got Pokopia, we got Marathon, and I don't think any of us played Slay the Spire, but like Slay the Spire's there, which we're excited about. What do we want to start with? Do we want to start with Resi?
Go for it. I think you and I have both been playing that. I haven't finished it yet. Thankfully, Yahtzee's not here to spoil it. You know what? Do you understand how scared I was yet, Marty, in our Leeds meeting on Monday when we brought up Resident Evil 9 and Yahtze just wouldn't stop?
Yahtze's the worst at that.
He's just
an incredible writer. He's an incredible writer, a great critic. He's dog shit at keeping spoilers close to the vest shortly after a game came.
I'm literally sitting there I'm like, Yahtze, I haven't finished it. Please don't spoil anything. And he just talks through it. He just keeps going. Yeah. He's like, no, I won't spoil anything. But by the way, until the ending of the game, like, Yahtze, shut the fuck up, Yahtze.
Yeah.
I'm going to stab your eyes out.
He's not here. So anyways, in the post-credit scene,
keeps going.
We're not going to spoil anything because we realize people aren't as insane as us. I'll say I'm close to finishing the game a second time.
Is that necessary? Because Eric also doing it several times.
No. It's not like a near thing. Like I'm not doing it for a different ending or anything.
Gotcha.
I played it on normal, and then I wanted to play it on casual and bring some of my unlockables because there were things that scared me quite a bit on normal that I wanted to go back and be like, fuck you. I know you're there, and I'm going to shoot you with big guns now. I love this game. I might be the highest on it at Second Wind. Like I fucking love this game. It's my favorite Resi since 4. I have a piece that I've a video essay that'll probably maybe go up next week or the week after. I do think it is. I think one of the reasons I love it is a Resident Evil game that is directly about Resident Evil games. Like it is. As much as the games it reminds me of most are Metal Gear Solid 4, which is a Metal Gear Solid game about Metal Gear Solid, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a Final Fantasy game about Final Fantasy, and I like that shit. It feels like an oral history of Resident Evil by pulling in imagery and mechanics and scenarios and motifs from throughout the entire 30-year history, not just of the mainline games, but also it pulls in stuff from weird side games everyone's forgot about. It pulls stuff from the animated movies, and as someone who's loved Resident Evil since I was a kid and those fucking dogs jumped through the window and scared the shit out of me, like I love this game. And it does do the Resident Evil thing where I think the first half is game of the year material, and I do think the second half sags at certain points. I think it sags under its weight. I think it tries to do things it shouldn't try to do. It might take inspiration from games it shouldn't try to take inspiration from. But I think Grace has immediately vaulted to one of my favorite Resi protagonists. Leon will always be maybe my favorite himbo in fiction. Like maybe my favorite, like completely stupid fucking karate boy who just isn't afraid of anything anymore because he's like, I don't care. And I just genuinely love it. Yeah, I don't want to.
Nice.
We're going to go into full spoilers in not next week's Windbreaker, but the following one. We'll be doing a full spoiler cast. But I really love this game. Nick, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, as somebody that's like, I like Resident Evil, but I'm not a super fan of it like you are. Um, I honestly haven't. I like the game. I won't say I dislike it. But I haven't been like as enthralled since like Resident Evil 7. Like Resident Evil 7 to me is just perfect. I love that game. But Resident Evil 8, the opening is really good. The back half, I really didn't. Once you get into like the machine world shit, like it's just wasn't very fun.
With Heisenberg, yeah.
Yeah. This one, again, like I'm with you. I really love the first half. Like some of that atmosphere with like, the creature that you see in the trailers and everything is just incredible. Her and animations, like tension, all of that's incredible. But after you get out of the hospital, like the environments to me are a little bit too boring. Like, the second zone you get to, I get why it's, if you're a fan of the series, I get why you love it. I have also played Resident Evil 2, so yeah,
it sags really in the more open part of that section to me, and then when it kind of funnels again, I'm back aboard.
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and then I haven't finished it yet, so I don't have a final opinion on it. I do like the story in this. I think it's really interesting where they go with it, and like even as somebody that's not a super fan of the series, like it connecting back to games that I have played is really cool. I really like how they handled it. So yeah, I'm like, it's definitely not my game of the year. It's a really good game. I really like it. I like when Resident Evil gets a bit more creative with its environments than it has with this one. This one's a little bit drab, I would say.
Yeah, I do agree that I'm
story-wise, it all makes sense and it's really interesting, but just visually,
and
it's a little boring.
Some people have asked, what homework do I need to do? Because there's 30 years of homework. This feels mostly like a direct sequel to Resident Evil 2 remake. If you play a Resident Evil 2 remake, specifically the 2019, I want to say, game, this feels like a direct sequel to that. While I said there are nods to almost every game in the franchise, including like the kind of outliers like 5 and 6, and there's immediately the Grace is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, who's one of the protagonists of Resident Evil Outbreak, the PS2 online multiplayer Resident Evil game. I do think it is one of those things where you can. I mean, Nick, you played Metal Gear Solid 4 without playing the other ones, right? So like, This is like a game like this shouldn't. If you're only good because you hinge on you've done this for 30 years, like you kind of have failed to newcomers, and I personally don't think it does that. Although I don't know, it's hard for me to say because I don't know. Yeah. I don't have that perspective, but
and you also went back and played them all immediately prior to this.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm the last person who could talk about what it's like to come to this game with fresh eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Resident Evil 1, 2. I skipped 3. I've played 4. So I think you get a lot more out of this game having played more of the series than you would if you hadn't. Mm-hmm. And I do think like the game makes a big deal of certain places you go, and sure. I don't think you have like much connection to it if you haven't played at least 2.
it treats certain locations like a religious pilgrimage.
Yeah.
And for me, it clicked in the same way that like when you step outside in Final Fantasy VII Remake and you look up and you see the plate above you, like I had tears in my eyes. Also, it was 2020 and COVID was there, and I was like, "Are we dying?"
I was like,
"Are we about to die?" But like, it was beautiful to me. Yeah.
I'd also say like Leon doesn't have much characterization in this game if you haven't played 2 either. I think that's one of my biggest critiques with the game is, and I get it's his character. I'm not shitting on it for that. It's just like he only speaks in one-liners. It kind of bothers me.
Yeah,
I get that. I get that's the character. I just like it. I feel like the story is a little bit lighter in this when you're not in Grace sections.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
So
nice.
Yeah.
I will say here as someone who kind of just completely bounced off the Resident Evil franchise. Like I've only finished Resident Evil 2, the original 2, not the remake, and I had to use cheats to do it because I just wasn't having fun. The discourse I've been hearing about 9, unlike 8 or 7 before it, has made me intrigued enough to maybe start this one and play it. Like Sony Legend, who's a Twitter guy who makes like cool action videos of everything.
I believe he works for Sony now, making official.
Oh, really?
I believe Sony Legend works for Sony, making like hype reels for.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But like, I saw the one
they
did for Resident Evil 9, and it was fucking dope. I was like, I think I want to try this game.
Man, I want you and Kia to stream this game.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think
maybe I can do the layout parts, and she can do the grace parts, right?
I think it would be fun as hell. How does she deal with horror? I know you're not the craziest horror guy. Also, the opening few hours of this game are
I'm thinking about it.
Scary as fuck.
Yeah, she's actually not a fan of horror games.
Maybe don't make her do the grace parts because the opening couple hours of this game are like legitimately terrifying in my mind.
All right, this game hasn't scared me at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I usually like me of all people, I've jumped a couple times, but like I haven't like I think just because like some of the level designers are really simple that I haven't gotten lost and I've been able to just kind of go straight.
I think it's because you played the Chinese version and they caulked the crack.
They got rid of the butt cracks. I was terrified of that. You're right.
I do want to say I've a video essay about this that I'll be recording tomorrow, and I want to say I've been talking with Eric about this. Eric has recorded the game. Eric, over last weekend, while sick, finished the game not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Jesus.
Including on insanity mode, which I don't know why anyone would do any of that ever. Like the word is right there. I would just avoid that. The boy's built different. He's just built different. He's absolutely built different. I don't get it, and I don't know why. It's shocking and continually impressive. I do think you do have the T virus, as several people have said. So you've got Raccoon City syndrome, Eric. R.I.P. But we'll be having a lot of coverage about this. I think Yahtzee's Fully Emblematic next week will be on it. Jay's working on Design Delve. I got a video essay, and then, like I mentioned, the Windbreaker on Monday the 16th. Not this Monday, but the following Monday. Will be a full big old spoiler cast about it. So
you've been warned.
You've been warned. You guys got like a week and a half to finish it before all of that. And relating to Resi Sovereign, thank you so much, Sovereign. Listening to everyone on the internet with 50 euros, by the way. Thank you so much, Sovereign. Appreciate that. We're cutting into that goal quite well. Listening to everyone on the internet glazing Resident Evil 9 while I sit around waiting for Capcom to patch the damn thing so it doesn't crash on my PC. Whenever I try to launch it, it's been rather frustrating. Anyway, happy 100th Firelink. Here's to 100 more. Appreciate that, Sovereign. Nick, have you been playing on PC? I've been playing on Xbox. I had no problems, so I don't know. Have you been playing on PC? Did you have any problems?
No, I've played on PC, but I have top-of-the-line hardware, so I usually don't have this issues that everybody does.
Also, PC.
Like, why don't you talk about performance? I was like, well,
yeah. That sucks, Sovereign, though. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons I do like console is if I had to deal with that every time a new game came out, I would just be furious. Like, I don't know, it'd be like going to a movie theater. I mean, I do go to certain theaters where like the projection seems very light, and I'm like, why don't you make it darker? Why are there still lights on in this theater?
That was me with the recent Avatar. Like that was like the movie was so quiet I could hear people breathing. I was like, no relation to Marty. Marty wasn't behind me.
That was Monday's Windbreaker. I was actually I was in the projection booth watching it and be like, Big Jim, you're doing really well. That sounds like I was
watch Avatar 2 until 2 years later.
I wasn't doing sex stuff with James Cameron. It's fine. I also still haven't seen Avatar 2 or 3. So
you erase his butt crack though?
James Cameron would never erase the butt crack. You know why? Because James Cameron loves
did you erase his butt crack?
women in. Wait, who's James's butt crack?
Yeah, I asked if you erased his butt crack.
Me? No, I'd make.
Yeah, you.
I do the opposite. I do cracks.
Oh,
all
you
the
make
way
it bigger.
Up. I do cracks all the way up, so it looks like a zipper. Like you can unzip all the way from the shoulder blades of the butt crack. That's a normal thing to say, right?
No, not even a little bit.
I have to pee really bad. Do you guys want to talk about Marathon while I walk away?
I haven't played, but yeah,
you will not care about.
Nick has played Marathon. You got stuff to say
I am
about
curious.
But
so yeah, I
yes,
would like to
Nick,
hear about Marathon.
Tell folks about Marathon.
I spent all day playing Marathon today, so that I could try to write something
initial
about it over the
impressions.
weekend. I mean, I put a bunch of hours into the Server Slam too. I went in like I've talked about Marathon on the podcast before that I wasn't really sure about it. I really went into the Server Slam kind of not expecting a whole lot. I went in pretty lukewarm on it. I was definitely more curious about it after I enjoyed Arc Raiders because I kind of got into the extraction genre from that game.
Yeah, I definitely felt similarly. Like, oh, I'm more intrigued about what Bungie's going to do in this space now that I've played and had fun with Arc Raiders. Yeah.
So, yeah, like starting this. Oh, Eric's playing a soundboard. God damn it, Eric! Stop it.
No, Eric. No. You stop.
Banned. God, I hate you, Eric. My like train of thought is now peeing. No more soundboards, Eric. You have gameplay footage playing through my ears. You're ruining the podcast.
Thanks,
Great, thank you. Good job. So I started off on the Server Slam kind of like, it's just another extraction game. But the more I played it, the more I really came to actually like Marathon a lot. There's like, it has really deep progression systems, which I wasn't expecting. Arc Raiders, has kind of its skill tree, but it's not, I don't know, it's incremental percentages on all these different things.
Right.
And all that.
Yeah. Like kind of the least exciting way to build a character. Yeah.
And Marathon, like each different corporation that you unlock has its own skill tree. And all these different skill trees kind of feed into the different shells that you get. And so you do get you get less fall damage on a shell, you get more inventory space, you get more credits for doing things. Like everything you do in Marathon is feeding some progression of some sort, which is what I feel like is missing from a lot of these games that I've at least tried, where like, why am I playing Marathon or Arc Raiders or any of these games? Like, just to go in and get loot and get out? Because like my friends that are casual players of these games are like, I don't really see the point of that. Like, how do you win? Right? You go to a battle royale game, you come out and you win the match by being the last player there.
You can be the winner, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So in this, like, winning is going into the match, completing your contracts that you're given through all these different corporations. So they, they're all pretty simple so far missions to, go destroy a satellite, go, hit one of them, like very early is like, just go break 20 windows and you get rewarded for all these different things. And each faction though, like kind of focuses on different things. So like one of the factions is focused on PvP. And so you get contracts to go hunt down players and take them out and all that. And the story of that faction kind of feeds into that lore of like, this faction wants to see you be brutal out there. This other faction wants you to get the most valuable loot, all that sort of stuff.
Can you jump between them, or like you're like a
you can
contractor?
You're just
taking jobs from any of them.
No, you can take jobs from any of them. You're gun for hire basically.
Gotcha.
And obviously you've seen like the art style and everything. So like each one of these factions has like a really fascinating introduction video that I didn't think I was going to care about, but I'm like, they're so visually cool. You end up wanting to watch it. And then the actual lore of each of these factions and how they tie into the world and what you're doing there is actually interesting. Again, something that I did not think about at all. I've never thought about lore in a multiplayer game, and this is like somehow hooking me in some way. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the UI. I don't know if it's just that I like Bungie's really good at this stuff. Whatever it is.
I think they are actually, yeah. Like Bungie in particular, they're good at filling whatever world they're messing around in with interesting shit.
Mm-hmm. So, I have an Unpacked coming out on Marathon tomorrow, but like the thing that I really dig about Marathon, and as somebody that is like I didn't even play, like I've hardly played this year's Call of Duty or last year's Call of Duty because it's boring to just go in and win matches and unlock weapons and XP for badges or whatever the fuck, right? Like I've done that a million times in every multiplayer game I've played. I've done that in Battlefield, like Battlefield 6. I've had a hard time staying hooked on Battlefield 6 because I play a match and it's like, do I get anything out of it? There was no risk reward for anything in it. Marathon like has that, and that's what I think I've come to really get about the Extraction, like why people love this genre is because like you are rewarded for being good at the game and playing smart and taking risks and going to high value loot areas and finding a way to come out of there and sneaking past other players. Like all these different things can happen in Marathon, and like so I actually feel like these this game almost feels more to me like an arena shooter where your reward for winning is the loot that you come out with it, rather than like this open-ended just scour for loot and get out kind of thing. Like the better you play, the better you come out through XP, completing contracts, all that different stuff. So I'm like really having a good time with it. I'm very, very curious what the raid map is going to be like, Cryo Archive, which comes out later this month.
Any idea what
and that is supposed to
they mean by raid in this?
Yeah, is it going to be like the Destiny raids? Which
that's kind of what the PlayStation blog hinted at, is like that they will have puzzles and things to solve while you're also competing against other players, and like that's going to be really cool. Like I think that's going to be where you want to all the time you spend gathering loot and upgrading and everything is to get to those moments, and then you take your best loot in to try and beat the raid. And I think that's a really good loop if they do it right. I don't know if not everybody here will watch Unpack, but I mentioned like I think that first raid for Marathon is going to be that Vault of Glass moment for the game, where it really cements if this really works. And obviously today's had a pretty damn good launch for the game. It was 80,000 plus concurrents right at launch, and Bungie's games are always more popular on consoles, so I imagine it's doing great there.
That's where I'll be playing.
But
probably.
Yeah, but I think
Vault of Glass, for anyone who doesn't know, was the big first raid in Destiny, right? The first Destiny.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think
that was an experience.
Yeah, I think that will. I think you're going to see a bump after that if it's good, because I think word of mouth is going to spread on this game pretty quickly, because it clearly did during the server slam. Like I saw online the discussion go from nobody's interested in Marathon, nobody wants to play it, to people on Reddit and all over the place saying like, man, I really dug this game. I had no interest in picking it up, and now I'm going to pick it up. Yeah. So I think word of mouth.
Clearly not.
I don't think
Concord high guard scenario.
No, not even close. I everybody's fighting online about how well this game has to do one way or the other. It's like nobody fucking knows. I don't know what the budget of this game was.
Because they're on PC and they're not on consoles playing games.
What? I said high guard.
Yeah.
What I laugh about? What I do? Reddit?
No, I said they're fighting about that because they're on PC and not on consoles, because they'd be playing games. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just digging myself. A couple, Dios Mio asked, what do you think of Time to Kill? Seems really short.
It depends. Like it's short if you don't have a green or a blue or a purple shield. And as people keep looting and getting better at the game, I think that time to kill is going to increase. But I don't know. I think the time to kill feels perfect to me. Like you're able to, even if you're outnumbered, if you play smart, you can win a gunfight, which I feel like you often can't in Call of Duty or any of those other battle royales.
Do you think they should have had a single player campaign?
I mean, I hope they do something like that. I mean, the art style and world and everything is really fucking cool. Like the second map is called Dire Marsh. It's the one you've seen in trailers a lot, where it's foggy and there's trees and the water and going through the marsh and swamps and all that. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff here.
I like the Destiny. I like the stuff you can do in Destiny by yourself before you kind of have to do stuff with other people in Destiny.
There's give you a little bit. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that in Marathon if that's what you're looking for. It's definitely
which is like that kind of that helped me get acclimated to the water in Destiny, and actually did get me to do some of the multiplayer stuff, some of the raids and everything. Whereas without that in Marathon, I just don't know if like that's going to grab me specifically.
I said in the video tomorrow that like, because I know I've seen some people asking in chat if they really like Arc Raiders, should they also check out Marathon? I think Arc Raiders to me is more of like a social experience. Like it does have those competitive elements, but I mean, a lot of people are playing it, and you know, for those funny moments and to take down machines together and all that. Marathon isn't really geared around that. Marathon is definitely, like I said, feels more geared towards competitive, and the matches themselves almost feel. I mean, it's a competition to get the best loot in the matches, and you feel that in kind of the pace of the game compared to Arc Raiders. So, yeah, I think there's gonna be two different audiences for this, and I don't think it's ever gonna beat Arc Raiders numbers because it just doesn't have that social aspect that game does. But who knows? I don't know how this game's gonna evolve.
Yeah. Casey, are you looking forward to jumping into it?
Yeah, I definitely want to try it out. I love the way Bungie shooters feel. So yeah, like I'm assuming they still hold on to like that sort of gunplay in there. So if what Nick is saying is in that game where like they're giving you kind of these individual goals that so like you're in there and you feel like you're progressing and doing things without having to engage with the PvP, like that's the only way you kind of get to play the game is when you come across people, because Arc Raiders can feel a little like that. Like it's fun when things are happening, but then you can have runs where like nothing's happening, you're just picking up stuff and then you leave. Like if they can fill that gap with like fun stuff to do and like they're like top in my mind, like top of the industry gunplay, then like I may end up spending a lot of time doing that loop. Because I used to just love running around in Destiny shooting stuff.
Yeah, there's some roaming bosses in it. I don't think anybody's really unlocked Outpost yet because that's the third map and that's the hard one to get to you. But like Dire Marsh has, well, even Perimeter has like, you know, some kind of in-game bosses with like gold shields and all that you really can't take down on your own. You need people around you to help you with it. But there's also like in-game events, like on Dire Marsh, like this giant fucking cube appears out of nowhere and will lock down an area. And I haven't gotten caught in it yet. I'm afraid of what happens when it does, so I've tried to avoid it. But yeah, I think I'm excited to see what Outpost has in store and what kind of world events they do. Because Destiny was always really good at that. Those kind of random world events that would pop up. Yeah, just keep things fresh.
Nice. Yeah, and we'll have I think that's more. We'll have more on Marathon tomorrow. The Jay and the Dev Heads, Tina and Mikey, will be streaming the game at noon Central tomorrow. So tune in for that. Casey, what have you been watching? Play? I feel like Nick and I have just been babbling. So what have you been doing? I'll do Pokopia after this.
Yeah, so there is another game that came out relatively recently. It's not a big thing, but Scott Pilgrim EX is the sequel to Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, which came out over 10 years ago now, I think. Kind of a breakout hit.
I think way over 10
It's way over 10 years ago? Shit. Yo, wow. It might have been. No, because like they just did the big remaster thing as like a 10-year anniversary I saw. Or am I tripping? 15, shit. Okay. Well,
16 years ago.
Well,
sorry.
Time sure does fly.
I just remember playing the game before I was in the games industry, and I was like, "It's
right, okay,
a while." Yeah,
no, that tracks.
Yeah,
really long time. But that makes it even more impressive that they reassembled every piece of the people who worked on that, like the artist Paul Robertson, the band, the Real World Chiptune band, Anamanaguchi, that did all the music for that game, did another bespoke soundtrack for this game. Brian Lee O'Malley was involved. He wrote the story, apparently, from what I'm told. It doesn't seem like he did, but apparently he did. So yeah, like it's just a reassembling of the sort of all-star team to recreate this all-star experience. And on top of that, rather than being like this is just the video game version of a thing, which is what the first game was for the movie, this is kind of like an homage to the Netflix TV series. So if you watch Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, this game exists in the space after those events. So rather than just playing with like the members of Sex Bomb and Ramona, you play as all the evil X's who, if you've seen the Scott Pilgrim franchise, those are the fucking stars. Like the evil X's steal the show anytime they're on screen. So you get to play with those characters, and their unique movesets are like based on like their personalities or whatever. And they're all really fun. Like I jumped between a bunch of them on the stages. They definitely feel different from each other. The map is varied, but it's a little small in that they do a thing where rather than regular side-scrolling beat 'em ups where you advance per level, it's all interconnected. So you'll walk from like one neighborhood, we'll walk from like one stage to the next stage, and then you can just go back like at will. I mean, you will get locked on the screen if there's like a boss thing happening, but you can kind of just go anywhere. But there are locked doors, there are locked portals, and you have to beat certain bosses or find certain things that then give you access to like doors, which then take you to other parts of the map that are also, so you just expand it and it becomes even more traversable. But the issue with that is they keep forcing you to have to go back through areas that you've already been, and enemies will just keep respawning as you go back to those screens. And like that's how they kind of fill in the gaps of you having to do the backtracking. So it can get a little stale, especially if you're not constantly switching the characters, because the other thing that I'm not a big fan of is the characters are kind of, they have all their stuff unlocked from the very beginning, as opposed to the first game, but like over time they level up and they get new abilities that you then learn how to implement. Instead, everyone is who they are from the jump, and your stats go up as you like collect items or like buy food with the money you're getting from enemies. So sometimes you have to grind. And you have to do that for each individual character. They don't level up, as a unit. So like you have to go back and play with someone you haven't been playing for a while because you want to try something new. You got to spend some time grinding and buying stuff and getting drops in order to like level them up to actually get to actually deal with some of the enemies in the later stages that you're trying to work with. So a little bit of pacing issues, but otherwise, like I really like the character writing. Like everyone sounds like the characters that in terms of like the writing and the dumb stuff they say or the funny stuff they say. It looks really good. Like the background art especially is like very detailed. Like there are like all sorts of gags all over the city. Sound effects are great. Combat feels great. My only real pet peeve, and this is kind of the basis of the video essay that I have coming out soon, is that it still feels beholden to the first game, which was itself beholden to the tropes of the beat 'em up genre of like the 80s and 90s. And it's like, it's been 30 years. Like we can try something new in this space, can't we? Like we had Absalom last year, which did a lot to sort of like speed things up and make things more interesting.
Yeah.
And even that still feels like they don't want to venture too far out of the niche. Otherwise, they maybe can't call it a beat 'em up. But either way, like I really appreciated what that game was doing. But a lot of the other beat 'em ups are doing exactly what Scott Pilgrim EX is doing, which is like, we have to tell you that we're from the past. Like we have to adhere to the beat 'em up is an old school classic thing. So everything about our new release in 2026 has to harken back to 30 years ago. And like, I feel like we need to get away from that.
Which
It's funny you say that because like Towerborn is like the more modern beat 'em up that just kind of came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny, we get Celeste is clearly a love letter to those games, but it does something new. Hollow Knight, Silksong is clearly a love letter to Metroidvania, a genre that was born in the 90s, but feels new. It feels like a 2025 game. Yeah, and it is. It is funny that this is coming out in the shadow of. I didn't play that much Absalom, but I know people loved it last year, right? As kind of like it did feel like a step up of that, but yeah, it does feel like. I don't want to give away the thesis of your video, but yeah, it is an interesting kind of place that the genre feels in. Spinning its wheels, I guess.
But that being said, like for this adhering to those concepts, like it's a very good one of those. Like just like the last game was before it. Like it's a really fun beat 'em up, and if you like those characters, you like that world, you're gonna have a good time with it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to play this. Excited to see your video too. It'll probably up.
Yeah,
Monday. think the plan is Monday. So there you go.
Cool.
What about anything else played?
Oh, yes. I also got sent code to check out a game that I was hearing about this like randomly because I watch like Smash related videos or whatever. But they sent me the thing, and apparently it had a really successful Kickstarter. Like they're still in development, but they have a big beta. So I checked it out. It's a game called Combo Devils. It's a platform fighter, fully unique characters. It's not tied to any existing franchises, from what I can tell. But like it's a really good feeling platform fighter. Like they've like not Smash clones. That sounds derogatory. But other platform fighters, like they tend to fall into two camps. Like they're the ones who are trying to appeal to the hardcore crowd, like the hardcore, like competitive crowd, which, you know, is kind of the lifeblood of Smash, if you want to be honest. And then there are the others who want to appeal to everyone. Like we want this to be a big deal because Smash is a big hit and we're trying to get in that market. Like Multiverses, for example, was all about microtransactions and characters, you know, because they wanted everyone. What's the other one? Rivals of Aether 2 is all about the competitive. Like it's really hardcore, that game, in terms of like what it's doing. This is one of the first that feels like it's trying to split that medium. Like,
okay,
it has solid mechanics, lots of options for like tailoring it to feel the way you want it to feel. They got new ideas. Like, for example, their shield system, like Smash is like a bubble that kind of shrinks on top of you. Their shield system is also a bubble, but like you can kind of direct it in a specific space so that you have actually more shielding in a particular area. So you can be smart about how you shield rather than just kind of shield. So like you'll have more protection shielding in the correct direction than if you weren't. So like you can get a shield break faster if you fool someone into shielding wrong, for example. So like extra mind games in that avenue seems like an interesting idea. They do a thing that a couple of other ones did where they add a dedicated button for their smash attacks. So that allows you to do aerial smash attacks. But I really like their level of restraint, because in other games where they do this, that gives you 4 additional aerial attacks, right? Because they're all strong versions in a direction. All aerial attacks in this game, all the strong aerial attacks are just one attack. So like whatever direction you do, it'll be one thing. And I like that better, actually. Like it feels like like you have aerial attacks which are normals, but like the strong one seems like this is for a specific situation based on the character. Like this character will use this move to do this. And like, I don't know, something about that feels easier to grasp, because as the name suggests, the game is called Combo Devils, and it does lean a little bit on the 2D fighter thing, where you are expected to kind of juggle and combo and maintain like a string of attacks on the enemies. Like that's kind of the meta of this, which generally I move away from that, which is why I gravitated to Smash over 2D fighters to begin with. So again, this is sort of split in that middle where it's like, okay, people who really like Smash's style or platform fighter styles versus people who are really deep into 2D style, this is meeting them halfway. So like you have all the maneuverability of the platforms, but you can still do like a big ass combo string. So like I can understand why that would be appealing to people, but that might be the reason why I don't make it to like the top tiers of this, because I know I'm probably gonna check out if I have to learn like long strings of combos for each character.
This is also original characters. Like this is not.
Yeah, these are like
Smash is obviously pulling from a familiar iconography and a lot of the Nickelodeon and WB and stuff like that. Even Brawlhalla has pulled from stuff. This is all original.
Yeah, these are all characters you've never seen before. But given that, like some of them are really cool actually. Like the one who was on screen just now is like this sort of like Maya Incan warrior girl. Like that's who I gravitated to because her design was really cool. Like I liked her spear, and like her moveset is actually really fun as well. There's that kid who's like a gamer who skateboards. Like he's just like I'm a stereotypical 90s commercial kid. Like that's his whole deal. Yeah. I find that really funny. So yeah, like there's not all of the characters on their roster were playable in the demo, but there were some other ones that also had like cool designs. Like there's like animal people. There's like humanoids who have like big personalities and stuff attached to them. So like I'm really intrigued by this. They also have a single player mode that's a roguelite. So it's kind of them mimicking the subspace emissary from Smash Brawl, which folks loved at the time. But this feels a little closer to whatever it was they called that Smash Run on Smash for 3DS. Like their single player content on the 3DS was like this thing where like you kept fighting through like stages, but then you would get drops that would give your characters like weird buffs. So like they're kind of copying that.
I remember that.
Like you're getting like roguelite-esque drops that are like giving you extra jumps or more powerful smash attacks or whatnot. So like you're doing that to try and get as far as possible. So for me, who kind of plays only competitively nowadays, I'm not seeing the appeal in that, but people who play more casually will probably have a lot of fun, is my guess. So I like that they're trying to cover both those bases, because like a lot of these platform fighters just find a very, very small audience and kind of just stay in that pocket. So I don't know. This has the potential to maybe find something bigger, because it is of quality. Like that much I can say for sure.
Nice. There you go. Combo Devils. And that's in beta right now. Can folks jump into that, or is that like a closed beta? Do you know?
It might be closed. I don't know if it's just readily accessible.
Gotcha.
There might be a chance.
Not through the Steam page, so I'm guessing it's Kickstarter backer beta.
Yeah, it's probably Kickstarter backer led like that. So like, maybe you have to shell out some donos to get a chance to try it.
Nice.
But keep an eye on it. At least I will.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yes, I wanted to say last week someone was like, "Oh, KC, have you watched 2B Hero X?" And I was like, "No, I've been meaning to." And I had just finished whatever it was I was watching beforehand, so I jumped right in. And thank you for telling me to watch that show, because holy shit, 2B Hero X is honestly, if I had seen it in 2025, it would absolutely have been on my list of like best things I watched last year. Because it's so fucking good. It's doing the Arcane thing where like some of the best CG animation you've seen. Like I will still say I think Arcane is better, but there's a reason why I can give 2B Hero X some slack, because they do the Arcane thing, but they also do like 2 or 3 other animation styles as well. Like they jump between them, and like at first it's a little disorienting. And then later you kind of realize why that's happening. And when I put that together, it fucking blew my mind. Like I've been watching more like Chinese like media, and I've been playing like gacha games, which is also Chinese media. So like they have a method of storytelling that I like the broad strokes of like where they're going with some of their narratives, but oftentimes like it feels like something gets lost in translation. Like there are details that kind of just get skipped over or glossed over. Like I've noticed that quite a bit, and this does happen in 2B Hero X, at least at the start. But I will say like some of the twists and some of the narratives, like they don't tell a story about like one character. It's about like the society in general. Oh, let me actually tell you what the hell the show's about. I'm sorry. 2B Hero X, it's a superhero show in the vein of like superheroes as a business, right? For some reason, you gain superpowers when people trust you. Like they call it trust. So if you become famous, like a social media star, for example, whatever it is people have put their trust or hopes or dreams in regarding you is what your powers will be. For example, there was a guy who saved a little girl. He was a firefighter. He saved a little girl by holding on a beam. And the little girl, like he told the little girl as he was struggling to hold up this beam, "Sorry, I'm going to stand firm. Like you have nothing to worry about." She believed in him. So he had the power that got captured on social media. So the whole world is like, "Oh, that man will never drop." His power became the ability to kind of like hold up anything.
That's
anything.
Cool. I love that.
My ability would be coming up with bad these nuts jokes.
but here's look, that's the rub, because the thing people trust you for and the powers you gain can also become a trap. It can be a double-edged sword, because that guy was known to never bow down, never kneel down. He literally could not bend. Like he couldn't bend his knee. Like he couldn't move comfortably because of the trust people put in him and how it locked his powers and his abilities or whatever. So like they mess around with that in really, really interesting ways. And like one of the stories in the middle is about a girl who basically possesses luck. And like people thought that she's like, oh, you're like a lucky charm. Like if I ask you to do something or something's around you, like luck, good things happen to me. And the dark side of that was so devastating. And then the flip side, after they kind of rectify that story, had me like a sobbing mess. Like I was fucking crying my eyes out because it was so beautiful. The story they told about like how her powers came to be, like what was the truth about how her powers manifested. So like, it there's one season out now, and I think the second season is in production, and it will finish the story. Like I think it's only going to have 48 episodes total, and the first season like 24.
Oh, we're not One Piecing?
No, yeah, thank God, because I need stories like this to have conclusions, because like because otherwise it'll probably just go downhill from there. But like what a really fun concept for a show, like amazing animation. I cannot wait to see more of it. Like this was such a fun watch. Like highly recommend it to anybody who's interested.
I hope nobody becomes famous on social media for saying they won't crack under pressure, because then they'll just get rid of their butt crack.
I mean, it's China. They don't like butt cracks, clearly. As we've learned. China makes sick-ass Donghua anime. Does not like butt cracks, though. I need to check this out. This is on my list. I think this conversation's... I didn't realize this is what it was about. Like I was like,
I had no idea either.
Yeah. So, double shout out to whoever. A couple people have brought it up over the last year or so, but shout out to whoever brought it up specifically last week to get you to watch it, which will probably get me to watch it.
Check it out.
Anything else?
Oh, for me, no. Can't think of anything right now. No.
Yeah.
Marty, I need to know: is Pokopia is a Viva Pinata?
It fucking is.
It is.
I know. My thing is just I'm getting excited about every game. It's so the opening. I played 3 hours today, and it is absolutely. It is not Stardew Valley. It is Viva Pinata.
Yes, I made it happen.
Viva Pinata. It is about creating a little society, and the way you bring people into your village are like there's kind of a puzzle aspect of it. Is you have to find out what they want. It's you find out, oh, in order to bring this owl, you need to create a bed with a lamp-side table and a candle on top of it, and you need to figure out how to get a bed and a lamp-side and a table and a candle to put on top of it, and then the Pokemon will come there, and then once the Pokemon arrives, you need to talk to it, and he's like, I want a little shade in my life. You need to create a little shade for it. It is one of those games. It reminds me of last year. Like I don't fall into these kind of games often, but it reminds me of Fantasy Life last year, where all of a sudden I stumbled into this thing and I'm like, oh no, this is going to take a lot of my time for the foreseeable future. I pulled out my phone to start making a note of the things I needed to do, because after like a relatively brief tutorial, I was immediately like, oh, I have so many things I want to do right now, and I need to keep track of it. And then I was like, this isn't good enough. And I pulled out my notebook. I'm writing in a notebook to be like, I need to go to the coast, and I need to build a little bit of things there so my slowpoke will appear. And then I need to build a path for my slowpoke to get back to the town so that the slowpoke can use its psychic energy to create a rainfall, which will then dampen the dirt around the onyx so I can bust the onyx out so that the onyx can help me build the community center. And this game is extremely dangerous.
No, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, it's that
Simpsons meme of, oh no, I'm in danger.
We are absolutely in danger. I love the personality of the Pokemon. Like all of the Pokemon talk to you, and they're all kind of too silly and funny and sweet. And I like that there's a bunch of it feels like a little bit of an isekai. You are this Ditto who had an owner. And all of a sudden the Ditto appeared in this world. I think it's an isekai. I think you appear in this world, which seems it's like a post-apocalyptic version of, I think, Pokemon Gen 4. But you find these little remnants of society, and it feels like you're trying to like rebuild society. And you're finding like notes from Misty, Misty of Gen 1 and the gym leader
Misty?
and everything. that Misty, and you're finding notes from like Team Rocket and stuff, and you're kind of slowly building stuff together. I'm really excited for this, and I'm very worried about this game. Like I'm worried about my relationship with this game.
Who made this again?
This was I believe Koei Tecmo. I believe this might have been the Dragon Quest Builders developers, which makes sense because there's a little bit there's a little bit of everything's a cube in the world, so that's Minecrafty, but you destroy things and build things based on cubic places. But I'm just immediately smitten by this game. I'm really excited to continue playing this. It's dangerous.
The thing with, I bring up Viva Pinata a lot, like mostly as a joke. I mean, I really did enjoy it, but like the thing that I love about those games is just the progression of them, because you're constantly unlocking something new and feeling like constant, like that reward is just constantly piling on you, but you're also working for it at the entire time. And then like the randomness of when those things can happen, like you never know what's like around the next corner kind of thing. It's not like you never feel like you're grinding towards anything in these games, which is why I don't get into Animal Crossing or a lot of those other ones. Viva Pinata, like there was never a grind, and that's why I liked that farming.
It does not. Again, that 3 hours never does not feel like a grind. I'm just constantly like, oh, I have like 6 things I want to do right now, and any of them seem viable, and I'll go do with them. There's no time limit on anything. Like, there's no pressure. Thanks, Eric. Omega Force, which is owned by Koei Tecmo, which were the developers of stuff like Dragon Quest Builders too. So,
I thought they were the Dynasty.
They're also the Dynasty Warriors folks.
I didn't know they were doing non-Dynasty Warriors games.
Listen, at a certain point, they're like, we can't keep having games where just folks kill 10,000 people. We also need games where you're just building stuff.
Main question I had was like, does it carry over stuff from like Viva Pinata, where like you unlock new like buildings and unlock new like vendors, all that kind of stuff? Oh my god!
Not vendors so far, but it is just constantly you like are constantly doing things that
like
will
new seeds,
yes, and you're constantly leveling, and every time you level up, you get a new suite of things, and it could be just aesthetic things. If you're one of those people who wants to like really make your island personable, you can completely like level the terrain and make it your own, or you could just say fuck it and do the things you want to do. This is gonna be dangerous. Put it on your Switch before you go to Europe.
It's already on there. What about my last question is, well, like, what about experimentation? Because like in Viva Pinata, one of the coolest things you could do was like get a fertilizer and put it on a plant, and you get something completely new that you didn't expect, or anything like that. Yes.
So far, no, but there has been like by me just being like, oh, I want to create like a nice little 3x3 grid of flowers. I did that, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, this is actually the exact fauna that will attract this kind of Pokemon. So by thinking aesthetically, I was rewarded mechanically by being like, I want to build like a nice little garden. All of a sudden it's like, hey, you know who might pop over here? A Charmeleon. And I was like, I don't like that man. I actually don't want him to.
I'm getting rid of this garden.
You could tell him to stay where he is. I like all the Pokemon also talk, and I just like how they have a personality to them, and
I'm a fan of that, of talking Pokemon.
And then you're gonna tell Pikachu, I want to eat you.
I have not seen a Pikachu yet, but if I do see a Pikachu,
I'm gonna serve your ears to my dog.
I will threaten to eat the Pikachu. And then before we go over the last super chats, the other thing I want to recommend that I know Nick and I give a hearty reco to is during the showcase earlier this week, Mini Shoot Adventures. One of our favorite games from 2014. I know Nick, or 2024. I know Nick and I both loved it. It is left PC, and it is now on Game Pass. It's on Switch. It's on PlayStation. This game is so fucking good. I cannot recommend it enough. If a top-down Zelda game were a twin stick shooter, it is that. You play a little ship on a strange planet, and you navigate a map that feels a lot like the original Legend of Zelda, to the point where I think one of the first screens of the game is literally the first screen of the original Legend of Zelda. You can go north, south, east, or west, and there's a little cave in the corner. This game feels so good to play. The dungeons are great. The abilities you get, the way they improve both your combat and your exploration. The boss fights are great. I love this game, and it's now available on every platform,
Everywhere,
including
yeah.
Game Pass and Switch and everything. So cannot recommend enough.
Yeah, go play
Sweet.
this game. It's fucking great.
It is
Love
called
it.
Mini Shoot Adventures. I'm going to put it in chat. Mini Shoot, one word, and Adventures, 2 word. So yeah, check this game out. It came out again. This was on PC a few years ago. I did a bite sized about it. Nick and I talked about it back then, but if you didn't have a console, you probably glossed over it. Finally came to other things. I also hope that means that these guys are working on a follow up, because this is a very small, I'm going to say European.
Two people. Yeah.
2 people, and I don't know exactly what countries. I'm just going to say Europe. I think it's safe to just say they're in Europe, because I don't know what country they're in. But definitely check that out. If you like top-down Zelda games, this is and twin stick shooters, this is so good. Great. Okay, we're super chatting before we wrap up.
Let's get it.
Gelden, thank you. France, thank you. They're French. Shout out to the French. Everything's forbidden, nothing's forbidden. Gelden, thank you so much with the $5 donut. Pokopia is a well-streamlined Dragon Quest Builders. It is very good, but it lacks adult edginess. Ditto is in the Universal Egg Group. There, fixed it. I mean, it can't be edgy. It's a Pokemon. It can't be edgy.
Yeah, how edgy do you
Can't have the
want
butt cracks in there.
It's a Ditto, and so he doesn't even have edges because he's just a blob. He's just goo. He's just an amorphous blob. Waiting for
I'm afraid to start that game tonight. I have so much to do tomorrow.
What, mini shoot? Just play mini shoot instead.
No, I've already played that.
You play it again. It's fine. Waiting for Seaman. Thank you so much. People seem to be in concord about the hype about Marathon, but to be honest, I don't like exercise. As someone working with computers, I'm usually in high guard about running.
Well done.
Do you see what he did there? Halo.
I approve.
I don't know any other games. Arc Raiders. And then waiting for Seaman with one more dono. Thank you so much. Last dono. Is Nick interested in playing Pokemon Pokopia, or it's a bit like Viva Pinata? Maybe, but if you want something similar, can I recommend Wobble Dogs? You know anything about Wobble Dogs? You know about these Wobble Dogs?
Wobble.
Don't. No, the only other game that's been like super close to Viva Pinata is that Horticular game that I've recommended a few times.
What was it called?
Horticular.
Horticular.
Yeah.
Do you like
Shout out
manage
Horticular.
a brothel?
Yeah.
No, you manage a garden. You bring your animals to the garden. There's little gnomes. They're little gnomes everywhere.
Oh, there you go. Shout out the gnomes. I love a gnome, to be honest. I love like a little bit. Remember that? Remember the gnome? Casey?
David?
Half-Life
David the
gnome?
gnome?
R.I.P.
Yeah.
David. Went to
Never
space.
forget.
Yeah.
He's still up
Make
there,
a
I think.
Half-Life 3, so bring that gnome back.
The only thing I think about when I hear the word gnome anymore is that joke that Marty got you. I mean, Jack got you with on stream one time.
Me?
No, actually, it was just it wasn't you. We were streaming. We did a sponsored stream for a gnome game, and
I know that
the
game.
entire chat. Yeah, the entire chat was just puns. The entire stream.
Sounds like fucking
I've never
hell.
seen that many gnomes in one stream.
Gnome one man should have all that power.
There we are. Union of Gnomes. Thank you, Sir John Arbuckle.
Yeah,
He's truly our ombudsman. Insane. John Arbuckle knows every game I've streamed and how many times I've streamed it. It's truly beautiful.
He just takes notes, probably.
Takes gnomes.
He takes gnomes.
Gnomes.
Incarnadine over in Ko-Fi. Thank you so much, Incarnadine. I also wonder if the cost and complexity of porting PS5 games to PC is more than has been assumed. Let's see if this message goes through fast enough to be relevant. It's fine. It's fine that it's not relevant. But I mean, that's the thing is we don't know. Like from an outsider's perspective, we were always like, oh yeah, porting. I always make the goof. That's a right-click save as .pc change. Obviously, it's not. But I'm assuming Sony doesn't think it's worth it. I don't know.
They gotta shut down Nix's now too because they already shut down Blue Point.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me sad.
I was in here last week for that discussion.
Yeah.
That's why I got sick.
Will Cooling, thank you so much for a £5 dono. Stop dismissing basic economics as people being fanboys. I want good games rather than PC slop. If multi-platform works, then why was Phil fired? I don't know, Will.
Well, Phil
You
retired.
can answer all those questions. I mean, even if you say he was fired, like he was likely to retire soon, I agree with that point. But even if you're going to say he was fired, it wasn't because of the multi-platform thing. It was because of the hardware thing. It's because they weren't selling Xboxes. Like their games were like the software was getting better. Like and there was a long stretch where the software wasn't anything to write home about either, and that was why that helped. Like that caused the issue of them not selling hardware because like people didn't see the value in going to that platform because they didn't have good games on it. But again, just to be clear, there's a difference between what's good for the consumer and what's good for the business. And oftentimes those things do not align. Xbox made a hard choice, a hard stance on let's appeal to the consumer because of how bad their business was doing. If the consumers like us, then they'll buy our stuff and that'll save our business. And that ended up being the wrong gamble. But as a consumer, I fucking loved it. Like I really, really liked Phil Spencer's stint as the head of Xbox because almost every decision they made was pro-consumer. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
To his own detriment.
I mean, yeah, and that's what happened. Yeah, like they didn't make the money they wanted to make because they kept appealing to the consumer and not to the business needs. Which fuck it, they didn't need that money. It's Microsoft.
Yeah, somebody asked if you think they regret buying Activision Blizzard. Some days I do think they do.
Yeah, that might not have been a great idea.
Absolutely think that was the wrong decision.
Yeah, they should not have bought them.
Yeah.
Like,
also, I've been working.
And I'll say that I liked it as an idea because remember. This was how we got rid of Bobby Kotick.
Yeah, well, I mean, our naive hope was that maybe Activision will get to do more than Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And maybe they will now because Black Ops 7 hasn't sold great, so who knows?
I can't bring up actual current events. Ryan Betts. Thank you so much. Been in the tip jar for 25 months. Appreciate you, Ryan. Randolph Gandalf. $30.99 Australian. Says nothing. Thank you.
I think his message was right below it, actually.
Randolph. Shit, what was the message?
Oh, shit. They said something about it being their first super chat and they fucked up and that they just really like what we do and they love us.
Randolph Gandalf. A, I think your name is great. B, I think Australian dollars are great. And C, I hope you're having a great morning. That's why I think Randolph Gandalf. I think Randolph Gandalf is a very fun name. Super Chatting's clearly screwed up. Wanted to show support to you guys. First time checking in here during my Aussie work hours. Do you think Pokopia can reignite my love for the series? I do. It is so different than a Pokemon game. Like, it is not anyone who's been like, I'm sick of Game Freak. Like, this is a different thing. Like, it is just not. It's not Pokemon. Like, it's got the Pokemon clothing and everything, but it's just a different. This is a different style of game. Like, do not think.
If you never played Viva Pinata, go play it, and you'll understand why I don't shut up about that series.
Yeah, it's because Nick's got a head injury.
Multiple.
Multiple.
What's the next number 3 game I need to be waiting for? No, I need to be waiting for Goblin Commander 2. That's my next one. I'm gonna.
I mean, the next number 3 is going to be Prototype 3. Thank you, Randolph. Laboratory Maniac, thank you so much with a $23.67 dono. Happy 100 episodes. I wanted to donate $100, but I just spent a lot of money on games. So here's what's in my wallet, plus the change I found between couch cushions. Thank you so much, Laboratory Maniac. Appreciate you. Tsunami Doucher, $20 dono. I almost had a no-no.
No gnomes.
$20 no. I've been working since 6 in the morning. We got to just be done with this. Thank you so much, Tsunami Doucher. Says nothing. Appreciate you, bud. Minduel with a $2 dono. I can't believe it's been 100 years, HBD. 100 years of this podcast. I'm gonna be honest, it kind of feels like that. Sometimes it kind of feels like that.
I mean, we look great for over 100.
Thrill Gamesh. We do. Look at us. 100 years old. Looking fine. Like vampires in Marty Supreme. Thrill Gamesh, thank you so much. $2 dono. Your beards look nice today, gentlemen. I like that the last couple of super chats were nice. So I appreciate that, Thrill Gamesh. And then Sovereign, another €5 dono. Just popped in. Thanks, Sovereign. Eric, let me know that Resi 9 got a very recent patch and that has fixed my crashing issue. I can play Resi 9 now. It's a Christmas miracle.
Wow.
It is insane that Eric, while producing the podcast, is also like troubleshooting people's PC issues. That's what happens when you finish the game 3 times over the weekend. You just know everything.
Everybody needs an Eric in their house.
Everyone truly needs an Eric. Beautiful. That's gonna do it for us.
Nice.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in this episode. Casey, what do you got going on? What should folks know about from you? You mentioned the Scott Pilgrim vid. That'll probably, in my mind, that'll probably go up Monday. So people should look out for that on Monday.
Check that out when that drops.
Hell yeah.
Today is Thursday. So Friday, let's see. I plan to stream with the wife. Maybe we'll do RE9 because I am curious. I want to put some time into that game. Join me in Cheshire on Sunday for Super Smash Sunday. That's been a lot of fun with him joining the squad. And other than that, I think that's all I got.
Hell yeah. Nick,
I will have
Unpack going up tomorrow?
Yep, I'll have Unpacked on Marathon tomorrow, and I already wrote next week's Unpacked as well before I leave, so that'll be on this whole AI and games media thing. Mostly me making fun of it because it's just so fucking ridiculous. And then I'm going to try to get one more written up before the 3rd week, or the 3 weeks from now, while I'm also out, because I am leaving on Wednesday to go to Rome and Athens for the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
Because I'm actually jet setting this time for a personal vacation for myself. So,
are you going to replay Rise, Son, and Rome beforehand so you can know?
It's a good idea. Maybe I should.
Yeah,
but probably not. I'll probably be. I will be engrossed in Marathon and Poptopia. I don't even know if I'm debating on whether I want to take my Switch. God damn it! I did it again.
That's fine.
It's like you and High Guardian or whatever you were calling it.
I wouldn't do that.
But yeah, I should have an Unpacked up every Friday that I'm gone if I get in another script before I leave on Wednesday. And then obviously the big thing that I've been having to catch up on this week, because I was sick last week, is the upcoming Second Wind Game Showcase on April 23rd. We are now at 1,100 submissions that I've had to go through. So there's a lot of cool games that we'll be announcing during it. A lot of cool games that we'll be showing off for the first time that you probably haven't seen before. It's gonna be a good showcase, and we'll be announcing some cool partners for it soon too.
Leon Kennedy, is he going to be there?
Who?
Leon Kennedy, Leon S. Kennedy. He was a former member of the RIPD. He's the only cop who's ever been good.
What about his? Doesn't he have a sister?
He doesn't have a sister.
No, that's the other one.
He has a friend. Her name is Claire.
Claire. Okay.
He might.
She's the cop.
Might be his wife. I'm gonna say Leon. One of my favorite things in this Resi game, Leon got a wedding band. They never say who it is. Could be Claire. Could be Ada. Could be the president's daughter. Maybe he married a licker. We don't know.
How would he marry the president's daughter? Wasn't he a teenager?
She was. This is like it was like a million years ago. He shouldn't do that. He
shouldn't marry
the president's daughter. That'd be grooming.
He saved her from the zombies by grooming.
When Drake tried to marry Millie Bobby Brown. I almost just said Bobby Brown, which is great.
If the podcast goes past 8 o'clock, that's when Marty starts getting weird.
We gotta leave. It took me so long to open my water. I just kept trying to open the water. And
I was watching you do that. I was very confused of why it was taking so long.
Because everything's slippery. Everything's wet.
Like a face scanner on it?
I don't know what's going on. But yeah, other than that, like we said, check out the DevHeads Marathon stream. Marathon is in the video game, not like a crazy 10-hour stream tomorrow at noon, and I should be back probably tomorrow evening on my personal channel doing some Pokopia. And then, as I mentioned next week, we should have that video Eric and I have been working on about 2001, as well as some Resi Pokopia stuff in the works. Thank you so much, everyone. It's beautiful. Everyone, thank you so much. Everyone who watched live, everyone who donated. You guys really shut up. We really appreciate all of y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Anyone who's listening on your podcast service of choice, and of course, all of our patrons, we appreciate all of you. So for Nick and Casey and Eric, this was Marty. This was Firelink episode number 100. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your Thursdays and the rest of your weeks, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.